Nick Janicki, thank you for joining us.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Chris.
How is social media impacting the mental health of young adults and children in America?
Wow, that is a very broad question. And the answer, I think, is actually frightening or could be considered frightening. So when you look at how much time children in particular spend on social media, depending on the report, you're looking at 3 upwards of 8 hours a day on video platforms, on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it might be. You're finding a lot of issues specific to a couple different things. One is what we're calling the addiction loop, which is the inherent nature of technology has a tendency to actually hijack your dopamine response and use that to create an addiction loop. So the more negative things you watch and interact with, the more that's going to be fed to you, which obviously you can see that could be quite dangerous.
Wow, that's pretty scary. What can parents do to protect their kids from this kind of stuff?
You know, I've been reframing the birds and the bees talk for social media. And so what I mean by that is I have a 9-year-old daughter, and anybody that has children that are approaching the teenage years, I think it's really important to have a real serious sit-down conversation with your children and just let them know these things are designed in a way, not necessarily to manipulate you, but they are designed to reinforce what you're looking at. So it's up to you as an individual, as a parent, to teach your children things about intention, about character development, and about purpose. So the idea is, what is the purpose of going on social media, right? And then ignore the things that aren't contributing to that larger purpose, right? And then focus on the things that are.
You mentioned algorithms. You know, artificial intelligence is making its way through the headlines right now. How is that playing a role in all of this?
Really great question. There's a Stanford professor, his name is BJ Fogg, and he said the opposite of addiction is connection. So the idea is Facebook's full purpose for coming out was to connect more people together. What ends up happening is you start getting into polarized group, you start getting into groupthink. So all of these algorithms, the AI, if you will, the artificial intelligence, has to kind of be trained to sort of undo some of that. But part of that is our own responsibility on how we interact, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You're the spokesperson for Ganjing World. Can you tell us about how your company is different from other social media platforms?
Of course. So Ganjing simply means clean. And so the idea here is a clean world, a clean platform. And basically the easiest way to think about this, it's a platform that's G-rated. So that means it's free from erotic, harmful, violent, or criminal behavior. The entire platform is free of this. And our mission is to essentially empower people through technology to reconnect to traditional values and divine culture in daily life. So that mission is essentially what's fueling the algorithms and what's fueling the entire platform. So parents can feel safe knowing that, you know, kids can come to this platform. It's freely available to use, to interact and watch videos. The really cool thing here, Chris, is you don't even have to log in. So you don't even have to create an account to just use the platform and consume it. The only time you even have to log in is if you want to comment or create your own content.
And how can people access the platform?
Sure. If you just go to Ganjing, that's GANJING.com, you'll find it. There's also an iPhone app and an Android app, which I prefer to use the apps myself. So if you have a cell phone, it's an easy way to access it.
Nick Janicki, spokesperson for Ganjing World, thank you.
Of course. Thank you. It's my pleasure.